Hello and welcome to another video. Today I decided to do a video about things that you should and shouldn't do in PTFS because I've seen a lot in public servers and I just want to give people some knowledge of what to do when you're in a public server to make things a little bit better for more experienced players. Alright, enjoy the video. So first off, we have leaving full GUI options on. Now, sure, if you're not recording, I guess it's fine. But say you're recording this. I mean, it's not really a problem for everybody else, but it is pretty annoying when you're just watching a PTFS video. You see the throttle, you see all the names, you see everything. I mean, yeah, I've fallen to that mistake too. I've done it every so once in a while, but I mean, oh well. It's not the end of the world if you don't turn it off. So this clip that you were watching here, I just took, and it's what you really shouldn't do if you're taking off. Okay, yeah, you might be a beginner, but still, like, once you've done a couple of these types of takeoffs, you might want to try to learn how to taxi, listen to ATC, go to the runway, take off normally, and also, it's not a fighter jet, don't make the dang bank angle alarm go off. Also, another thing that we need to point out, use flaps, and also, put up landing gear after takeoff. Also, another thing, always try to spawn at a gate. I know at GR and some other airports, it spawns you a little bit further away from the gate. But please, if it's for roleplay sake, just try to do it. It would make more sense. Now what you see here is just absolutely atrocious. I know that some people actually land like this, but I can't stand it anymore. Like, look at this. See, your number one mistake is turning the engine off. You should be doing reverse thrust and be at much lower speed. And there we go. It's off center, number one. Which, I get it if you're like a little bit off the line, but you're still on the runway. And look at that! You tilt fully forward. I'm speechless. And then, if you're at Perth or another airport that has that, you just ram straight into that if you're way over speed. And then, if you somehow get over it, you run into a building like that. Like I said, I'm speechless. That's probably one of my worst landings I've ever done in my life in PTFS. So now we have switched over to what you should be doing in PTFS. So as you can see, I got my plane up to the gate as close as possible. I adjusted it. Perfect. That's what you should most likely be doing all the time. If you are role playing, or if you notice that there are other role players possibly recording at that airport or whatever, just try to spawn a plane at the gate if you can. As you can see here, I'm using reverse thrust. I'm not fully turning around and going like 60 or 70 knots running over to the runway in forward thrust. Because that is one of the mistakes that I see a lot. So, now, as you can see, to my left, you see that guy. He's not doing it too correctly. Yeah. Try to not go in the grass. Look. I understand if there's like nothing you can do. Like you're just going a bit too fast, or you're in the AN225 like this guy is. And you are like completely going way too fast. And you go off in the grass a little bit. A little bit! That's an exception. But if you are using the grass as your taxiway, no, stop that. Don't never use the grass as a taxiway in PTFS. Like, no. Okay. I have something else to add here. So, say you get here, you're in a A220 like I'm in, or a 737. You can cross. Like, that's fine. You'll be able to take off. Or like a Twin Otter or whatever. But if you're in like the AN225, A380, 747, stuff like that, don't take off or land on that runway. You already know that you're going to overrun. Now, I've changed my mind. I think that the aircraft UI stuff, it's fine. I mean, it won't really make anybody mad, and it'll help you find out what speed you need to be at and all that. Also, gotta mention my taxi speed. I would say around 20 to 25 knots is good for taxiing. Okay, now we're gonna get on to flaps before I take it off. So taxi, one flap, no matter the aircraft. Ooh, okay, taking off, I would say if you have like a 2 flap and it's not full, use that. But if it is full, don't use it. Just use 1. Now. Oh yeah, also on landing, use that. Now, there. If you're at around 50 knots and you have more flaps, put it up to 3. But if that's your full, don't. Now, once you're at 100 knots on the runway, then you can go full flaps. And there you go. So, there you go. That's how you take off as a professional in PTFS. Okay, so this is how you land like a professional. Okay, I messed up. I say put flaps to half. Also, use reverse thrust on your approach. It'll slow you down a lot faster and you won't be flying into the barriers like on the last one. Also, try not to slam it down. Like try not to just like absolutely slam that thing on the ground. Like try to just like float the aircraft kind of until it stalls. Then I don't know what to tell you, but try to get to around 200 knots before you land. And if you need a little bit more speed, you just turn off reverse thrust for a second. It'll get you up there. But I also practically almost screamed because I think that was probably one of my best landings so far on this channel. Well, one of my best landings ever. So, now I'm going to talk about what I think the best aircraft is for beginners that really like soft landings. I think it's the A330. It's small. Well, not small like a CRJ or like the A220, but it's like a medium-sized aircraft. It also has the tilted landing gear, which you know everybody loves, and it's why it's called the butter machine. But the main reason why I like it, and I think you guessed it, is because Lufthansa operated it. No. That's not that's not the reason why I love it. The main reason is actually because of its size. It's not too small like the A220 or the 737, but it's also not too big like one of my favorite aircraft, the A340. That's why I think it's a pretty good plane for beginners and one of my favorites. Well, that was a video. It's what you should and shouldn't do in PTFS as a beginner or a professional, or if you just play it every so once in a while, it doesn't even matter. Just listen to this video. I'm guessing somebody can agree with me on some of this, but if you don't, that's fine. But the last thing I have to ask for is, since you're here, might as well like and subscribe. It's free.
150, 40, 30, 20, 10.